the night, Leroy. We
Yes, it is.
We drape ourselves in red, white, and blue. The final of the
Or-
Four Nations face-off.
You can basically just wear your Panthers stuff because most of your team is out there. A lot of your team's out.
Well, if you were going to go Panther stuff, I mean, you got Zito, Tkachuk, and then you got the Sams on the other side.
Yep.
So, did I take a double Tkachuk score tonight? Plus 1,400 on the Hard Rock app, perhaps? Game special. Let us go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line and talk to our guy there, the man from the hockey news, and as I have dubbed him, the Hockey Hornet.
Wow.
Do people call him that?
I don't think so.
I
But
think they do.
Okay.
I think they do.
We'll find out.
Shop over 2,000 Toyotas on sale at one location, Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. ToyotaofHollywood.com.
Hornet would suggest he's moving. He was a goalie.
Buzz around, dude. Buzz around between the pipes. That's what he does. It's also our road to repeat, which is brought to us by our friends over at Celsius. Hockey fans, don't sit this one out when it's game time. Make Celsius a part of your play and get that energy up. Game day is fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of
your Florida Panthers. Did you try that one?
I haven't yet, but I'm going after I finish.
There's no fizz.
I know. They actually have one that's fizz too. Astro Vibe is the same flavor with fizz. But this
Oh,
is,
really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is Blue Raz Lemonade, which sounds like a delightful mixed drink. Let's talk to our favorite hockey insider, of course, David Dwork from the Hockey News, and of course from Meadowlark Media's The Hockey Show. Hello, David.
Hello, boys. How's it going down in not so freezing South Florida?
It's a little chilly this morning.
a
What
little
are you
brisk.
talking about? I had to put on a sweater.
A
I had
little-
to put on a.
Yeah, it's a little. Why is it cold in Boston?
Yeah, I think it's like 21 right now as I walked over to the arena this morning, so it's a little
Hey.
brisk.
Man up, Ladybug. Messi just played in 3 degrees.
That's true. If Messi can do it, you can do it.
All right, enough of that.
How much does Canada hate Matthew Tkachuk right now?
Like, what's the highest measurable point of that barometer?
Yes.
I don't know.
The Tkachuk brothers are public enemy number one right now if you're a Canadian. And if you're an American, you love to hear it because they were so impactful in the game last weekend against Canada. I'm looking at them on the ice. Well, I see Brady on the ice right now. I'm not sure if Matthew has come out yet, but there is so much just excitement around this town and this building with the players, with the media. Like I didn't know what to expect coming into this Four Nations thing, but holy cow, has it exceeded expectations. And tonight is just going to be amazing.
This has been probably the biggest surprise of anything that any sport has done during their all-star break or whatever. Because I know baseball tried to do – what did baseball have the tournament before the season? The World Baseball Classic. Yeah. A little bit. I can't imagine anything that any sport has put together that's had this type of reaction worldwide.
When you combine hockey international best on best, which is what you get in the Olympics, which is why the Olympics are generally so fun. But then when you add NHL rules where they can actually fight and beat each other up and not worry about getting tossed out for a game or anything like that, it's given us what we've seen here, where every emotion is, peaking for these guys, and they can just go ahead and ride it out. I mean, 3 fights in 9 seconds in a grudge match, do or die, well, not do or die, but in a grudge match type game with the USA and Canada, like we all were just drooling at our TV screens. Like it sounded like 2/3 of America switched off the NBA dunk contest and said, "Well, this sucks. I'm going to go watch something that's actually fun and exciting." I'm curious to see, Leroy, what happens future-wise, just because it's been such a success. But dude, this has been amazing. Like I don't know what to expect tonight, but I just hope that in some way that the Boston fans bring it the way that the Montreal fans did, because everything that I was told and everything that we saw about that atmosphere at the Bell Center last weekend was something that if I realized ahead of time, I would have found a way to be there.
Right.
That was incredible. So I just hope that this one tonight can somehow match that, because holy cow, as a sports fan, forget media, forget player, just as a sports fan, seeing something like that, you can't anticipate something like in a crowd and atmosphere like that. That's what I want.
You got to switch it, right? So the next time they do the Four Nations, the final has to be in Canada.
Yeah, for sure. You have to.
You have to.
That's the only fair way to do it.
Right.
Do you feel like there's a level of mental edge USA has right now on Canada? Because we had Tkachuk kind of poking fun at it yesterday. Hey, maybe they don't like each other very much. Or we see even in a Stanley Cup final how quick momentum can swing. So do you feel like it's a clean slate tonight, or do you think the U.S. has a little bit of something on them on the jump?
I think you wipe the slate clean. I think there's too many superstars out there that have Stanley Cup experience, that have been around the block. I think it's going to be just like you said. It's like a Game 7 where everything that happened ahead of time is just wiped away. I think it's been cool to see how everything's played out. The way that the schedule was with the 2 days off before the final, I wasn't sure, what to expect, if it was just going to be kind of like a ho-hum, we're killing time. But it's been crazy. I mean, between the injuries and the illnesses with the Tkachuk brothers, with the whole Brady Quinn situation, not Brady Quinn. Wow, am I a hurt Dolphins fan or what? Holy cow! But just everything that's kind of played out here over the last few days, it's been so much fun.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird that we have to go back to NHL hockey in a couple of days.
Can you explain that Quinn Hughes thing? Like, what was the deal? Is he coming? Is he not coming? Like, what was the holdup and the whole miscommunication there, I guess?
Well, the rules, which were created just for this tournament, said that for you to go above your initial roster, you have to have guys that are hurt, that came out, were injured or sick or whatever, and that they had to be replaced because you didn't have somebody else. So they couldn't bring in they couldn't bring in Hughes. My God, I can't think of names right now. Because they still had their 6 defensemen on the roster. So that was kind of the running joke over the last 48 hours. Like, okay, who's going to come in there and, fall sick at the last minute or something will happen to get him on the ice. But he's not on the ice right now, and it looks like the U.S. is going to stick with what we saw from the last game, aside from the both of the Tkachuks being out there. Looks like the only guy that's going to be missing for the U.S. is I'm totally blanking on names today. The Boston defenseman, Charlie McAvoy. Thank you. So everybody's at full strength. I hope Sam Bennett's out there because he's been such a beast for Canada, but he did get the healthy scratch in Game 1. I don't know, man. Panther time. I think I like where Tobin was going. What do you say? Plus 1,100 for both Tkachuks?
Dude, it was plus 1,400. Hard Rock is going right now for both Tkachuks to score. I was looking at the Rhino, odds on tonight because he's like plus 500 to record 2 points. He's plus 350 to just score a goal. But with all this star power, is he going to be in that position, you think, tonight? The Reinhart points at plus 500 sounds pretty appealing to me just because he's playing with Sidney Crosby and Nathan McKinnon. So it's kind of hard not to think they're going to rack up some points there. Look, the U.S. has given up 4 goals through 3 games at this point. So it's not like Canada's going to go out there and light up the world per se. But the U.S. is shown to be a little leaky on their zone entries, and that's where Canada excelled in their last game. So we could see something fun, but for that number with those guys on the ice together, kind of hard to pass up. Do you, Tkachuk was talking about this yesterday because it's interesting. We had our own little mini growth over these last few years with the Panthers, and we've seen it grow in a non-traditional market, even though it's been here forever. It's now in its golden age almost. But he was talking about what this could mean for the game as far as nationally, young players watching this. Do you feel like that's going to have bear fruit for the game of hockey as far as American players are concerned?
No, I sure hope so. It's hard to say just because it's been 6 games or 7 games when it's all over. So it's a pretty small sample size, but based off of the reaction, that would be an amazing, amazing accomplishment for this. Just because, as the guys have said, there haven't been these international games. We haven't had that kind of excitement. USA Hockey has always been around, but to get the young players excited, and case in point, when I was watching that USA-Canada game at home last Saturday with my 8-year-old, I had Frozen on the big TV for the kids, and I had hockey on the little TV for dad. And within 5 seconds of the game starting, literally, my 8-year-old was totally ditching Frozen and staring up the little TV with me to the point where he stayed up with me till 10 o'clock at night just watching hockey, not playing basketball, not playing with his toys. So maybe that's an indicator of the excitement that's going to be going on with kids around just by watching what happened. And I sure hope so, because, right now you see how good the Americans are. Imagine an influx of talent for another generation.
Well, word to the wise. I know your kid is already born in hockey and has been playing the Panthers games. If he asks for a stuffed Stanley C. Panther when you go to the game, don't wait till the end of the game because they're always sold out. I've made that rookie mistake, and I paid for it for a year. Where they're like, "Oh yeah,
bad dad."
It wasn't bad. I just thought it was practical. Well, I didn't want him to carry around the Stanley C. Panther all game. I didn't think they were going to sell out.
Well, no other father thought that.
Apparently so.
All the other fathers said, "Let me get it now before they run out."
I'm just trying. I was just trying, baby. I don't know what to tell you.
So, I like live hockey, but I'm not as big of a television hockey guy because TV doesn't do hockey justice. But I've watched all of these games, and I can't even explain why. Is it just the international aspect of it, or the fact that you have like basically your whole Florida Panthers Stanley Cup winning team is splattered all over this thing?
No, it's the weight.
Right.
It's just like the Stanley Cup. Like, you know that every one of these games has so much meaning that these guys, nobody's taken off a shift. Like, it's the importance of it. And that's why we love the Stanley Cup playoffs, why it's kind of universally known that that's the best playoff in all of sports. Whether or not you like hockey, I will watch the Stanley Cup playoffs. And we're getting that almost to the nth degree because, as I said before, these guys can take it to another level. And there's just something about representing your country. I don't know. It's almost indefinable in that it's like an emotion, but something happens when you put on the crest of your country, whether you're an American, Canadian, whatever you might be, and it brings the best out of you. And that's what we're seeing right now. And if you're a sports fan, you recognize that and you're drawn to it. And I think that's what kind of brought us all into this.
Is there somebody you think is like an X factor tonight on either side? Like, is there a guy who's either been quiet or can explode? Like, who is there somebody in particular on either side that you think if that guy's going, it's going to be a tough night for the opponent?
I mean, you can draw any number of names out of a hat, really. I mean, you've got a game with Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, the best hockey players in the world right now. So, I mean, if any of them get hot, it could really turn the tide. But that's what makes this game so cool, is that you've got the best offensive players and the best defensive players going head to head. So it's really hard to say. I want to throw that to like a Connor Hellebuck because, if the goalie steals the game, there's nothing that really anybody could do. So I guess that would be my not cop-out answer, but I would say the goalies. But that being said, I'd have a lot more fun tonight if this ends up being like 4-3 or 5-4.
Oh yeah, I mean you're gonna be like sick to your stomach. It's gonna be like having
you can't like right
summer all over.
Oh my goodness, it would like I don't know what's more nerve-wracking, watching a 1-0 hockey game or watching a 6-5 hockey game, because it like you're on the edge of your seat because anything can happen at any moment.
Yep, that's what makes it so great.
All right, buddy. We appreciate it. Enjoy it. Boots on the ground. And thank you for giving us some time on this busy morning for you.
Anytime, fellas. Enjoy the game tonight.
All right.
There you go. David Dwork. He is live from the ice.
See that?
Up there in Boston.
Somebody made a suggestion.
Yep.
Maybe we shouldn't call Dwork for Leroy's hockey questions. He's getting every name wrong. And followed by Leroy showing his intangibles with that McAvoy response.
That was very impressive. That was very impressive.
That was pretty good. That was good. Hey, I patted myself on the back for that one.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, I just saw on the ticker, Bobby Portis.
I saw that too.
Suspended. 25 games.
I just strangely read an article on Bobby Portis.
How you gonna be 6'8" and
did he juice? Is that what happened, Marcos?
Or
did he get caught for some something else?
Anti-drug, so we'll look exactly to see what it was.
Here's the thing. You can
Taking a banned substance.
Here's the deal.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Let me
I have the statement from his agent if you want.
Let me explain this to you. Okay. When people fail a drug test, we make the assumption they were taking something, illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But there are several over-the-counter medications or prescriptions you would get from a doctor that are on the ban list because they kind of work as a diuretic to cover up if you're taking something else.
I got what he took. It apparently was he took another pain medication, according to his agent. This is Mark Bartelstein, who is Bradley Beal's agent. Got the no trade. He said, I'm devastated for Bobby right now because he made an honest mistake and the ramifications are incredibly significant. Bobby unintentionally took a pain medication called Tramadol, thinking he was taking the pain medication called Toradol. Toradol, that sucks, dude.
Right.
Toradol is an approved pain medication that he has used previously and that teams and players use for pain inflammation at times. Tramadol, however, is not an approved pain medication and was recently added to the banned substance list this past spring. The Tramadol pill that he took came from an assistant of his with a valid prescription for the painkiller, which he mistakenly told Bobby was Toradol. This was, again, an honest mistake that was made because of the similarities in the names of the drugs and the fact that both serve very similar purposes. Bobby was using an anti-inflammatory pain-reducing medication to deal with an elbow injury that he had this past fall, believing it was Toradol to alleviate some pain in preparation for that night's game. Bobby's a great person. There are no bigger fans of the NBA than Bobby and I. We are grateful to have closely collaborated with the NBA on countless occasions. We support the league's anti-drug policy and its purpose to have a fair, competitive, healthy landscape for our athletes. Bobby is absolutely not a drug abuser. He works tirelessly on increasing performance in the natural, legal, healthy ways. But he made a mistake, took a pill unknowingly that he shouldn't have taken. Today, in this instance, I am deeply disappointed that the NBA chooses to interpret its policy so strictly that the policy does not allow for different results for an honest mistake.
Dude,
25 games is a
lot of games.
Think about this. Think about this stuff.
That's like the rest of the season, isn't it?
Right.
Essentially. Yeah.
Think about this. You could go into a GNC or a vitamin store.
Yeah.
And ask them, hey, I want to do something for this, or this. And they'll give you something to take. And it's a banned substance in the sport. And you're making the assumption that it's over the counter. Why, how could it be banned? And they have their reasons for it. Is
that like one of those things, like, because he said it happened basically from an assistant or whoever, like, is that one of those things when you have something like this, do you always have to go to the team to get something?
Kind of, but if he thought it was Toradol and he knows Toradol's okay, then he wouldn't go to the team. Like, I remember I was taking these little vitamin packs, right? And I took him to my trainer and asked him to check them out, right? It's not like, it's not as cut and dry as people think. Like, I know a bunch of guys that I know would never, and all of a sudden they get flagged because they're taking some type of vitamin or something like that. And a lot of these drugs are on list because they work as an agent to hide the serious stuff.
So what's that going to cost Bobby Portis? Like, is that going to cost him like $8 million? Like, how much does that roll? That's a lot of games, dude.
So
you don't make nothing.
So, I mean, this sucks, right? Like, it sucks because it was an honest mistake, and I know it's easy for people to say, well, you should know what you're putting in your body. And he said, I thought I did. And like, there is no other way to say honest mistake, but I can tell you this. If I called customer service because something got jacked up, or I go somewhere and it says jacked up and they tell me honest mistake, I'm just supposed to accept it and move on.
Right.
It don't cost you $8 million. So, like,
should be about $850,000 for him.
$850,000 total?
Yeah, because he makes $34,000 a game.
Oh, okay. 34,000
sure?
times 8. No, he makes more than that.
It says that Bobby Portis' average annual salary is $12 million.
Okay.
Which breaks down to about $34,000 a game.
All right.
Doesn't seem to make sense though.
No, because 30,000 times 80 is 2.4 million, right?
12.6 million.
No, he's wrong.
12.6 million divided by 82 is 153,000 a game.
Yeah.
Does that include
30 times 8? Dude, 30 times 80 is 2.4 million.
If it's per game, I know that there's some flimsy things because some guys get paid, but like it said, that would be like $3.8 million.
Why would it say that though? Yep, AI overview just says exactly verbatim, but that's wrong. It's clearly wrong.
I mean,
so then what is it?
so
So
like,
how much per game is that then?
Smeathan.
What do you say?
Clearly, he never made a mistake in his life. Tough nuggets, Bobby. RBA Richie. Frog math is different.
Just Googled.
You sure you have the right? Are you going by Robert Portis? Like, do you think this is a guy on a 10-day?
I don't know.
Dude, like, it didn't sound right.
No, it didn't.
Because 30,000 times 80 games is 2.4 million.
Dade South says that.
So how do you get, if he makes 12 million, where's the other?
No, it should be like just under a shade under 4 mil.
Right.
I don't know. Contract wizardry, guys. Don't act like that's not something that happens.
Dade South says that you're Bobby Tortoise.
Huh?
That's pretty good.
Somebody says the way Leroy could calculate numbers is crazy.